Hey everybody, welcome back. Movie review time, where we geek out about a movie we just saw, and we just saw Men in Black International. Boy, I wish I had some sunglasses to put on. But anyways, this is going to be our no spoiler review. We're going to talk very briefly just about our overall feelings and opinions on the movie. We won't do any spoilers. If we do accidentally do a spoiler, I'll cut it out.
Why are you pointing at me?
Because you're usually the one that accidentally spoils.
And then I debate as whether or not it's a spoil, but...
Right, yeah. But anyways, we will have a spoiler video out, like probably tomorrow or something, where we can talk more in depth about things. But it's late too, so we want to kind of get going on this thing and get it done, because this should be our last double feature for a while. Yay. But Men in Black, I just rewatched the first three leading up to this, so I'm pretty fresh on the others, so I can compare it here.
I'm pretty sure I saw all three of them in the theaters when they came out. I don't really remember two, apparently.
Yeah, I was reminding
I have a complete blank on that one. I vaguely remember the first... actually, I think I remember the first one fairly well. The third one, I'm like, I think I remember the basic plot-ish, maybe?
Yeah, and again, two, I can't fault you for not remembering. It's fairly samey to the first one a little bit, so it's kind of easy, you know. It has some character introductions and things, and young Rosario Dawson, which I totally forgot about. She was like a main star in that movie.
Oh.
But anyways, we'll talk about Men in Black International. I went into this with not huge expectations, not low expectations. I'm like, it's probably just going to be kind of another Men in Black movie, and
basically,
that's kind of what it is.
It's a fun romp, and
yeah, I mean, if you like, I know a lot of people really crap on the sequels, so if you hated the Men in Black sequels, you're probably not going to like this one that much.
No.
If you enjoy the sequels, I think you're going to enjoy this just as much as those. I don't think it's quite as good as the first one. But the first one also gets the benefit of it being the first one, and it's something different and unique that we hadn't seen.
And I mean, this one does expand a little bit, but...
Mostly just in broadening it out to more parts of the world. They didn't really add any kind of new lore. I mean, there's new lore in terms of there's new aliens and all of that stuff, and new agents and branches, but it's not like they've really expanded upon, you know, how it's all interconnected, or... You know, there wasn't really new tech, it's just upgraded tech. I mean, there's kind of new tech, but again, there's not like any big new thing in this that you kind of get from some of the others, like the third one introduced time travel. You know, the second one, I can't think of what the second one had, but it had something. Like I said, the second one's not that memorable. So really, I think you're going to this mostly to see...
It's a popcorn movie.
Yeah.
And it succeeds at that.
Yeah, and I do think the trailers, and I won't tell you what here, but I do think they strongly mislead you in a place or two, but not necessarily in a way where you come out of it like, wow, I'm so surprised. More in a way of, oh, well, they didn't really do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But Hemsworth and Thompson are pretty great in this.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, as much as I love Hemsworth and I love when he does the comedy, I almost feel like maybe they went a little too far with the mumbling part of him in this.
Yeah.
Maybe just by a little.
I mean, he wasn't Ghostbusters level of too stupid to live, but...
Right. But he did come across a little dumber than he should be to be the agent that he was built up to be, maybe.
Well,
I mean, they do kind of play with that, but...
I can't say anything to that because it's spoilers.
That's what I'm saying. They kind of play with that a little bit.
I'll discuss that in spoilers.
Okay, but I think...
You remind me.
Okay, but I think Tessa Thompson, I
think it's Tessa.
Valkyrie. She was great in this. She's definitely a standout in this. I think this is a big role for her in terms of showing that she can lead a movie. Even if Hemsworth wasn't in it, I think her charisma would have really pulled through, and I would very much enjoy it. The little dude, Camille. I can never say his last name right.
I didn't catch the actor's name, so...
You would know him, though. Anyways, mostly he's really, really good. I think, again, at times, like Chris Hemsworth, though, they let it go a little too comedy for him, particularly in the earlier scenes. Then he kind of grew on me. I do wonder how
much of it is actual, like, riffing.
Yeah, if they just went a little overboard in some of the improving, maybe.
Yeah.
And just kind of stayed in. But again, not annoyingly so. Not enough to totally destroy the movie. I just felt like there was some stuff early in the movie where I'm like... it's a little bit, it's trying a little too hard.
Yeah.
Pacing's pretty good. I don't really, I did get a little drowsy near the end of the first act, but also I think that's just because I haven't slept well a few days and I'm tired, and we didn't get popcorn because apparently, even though the theater was dead tonight, a baseball team walked in right before us, and we were like up to the wire, so we didn't get second round of popcorn, but that's fine. I didn't need it. But mostly it kept my attention. Liam Neeson was pretty great in it.
Yeah.
I think
when is Liam Neeson ever not great?
Yeah, well, in movies.
Liam Neeson.
there's some cultural argument now, unfortunately, about him as a human.
I had completely forgotten about that.
Yeah, I think most people have, and I don't necessarily want to get into it here because it's almost like talking politics, which we don't really do on the channel. But I still quite enjoy him in movies. If nothing else, I'll at least say that. And again, he's no letdown here. That's a spoiler thing. I don't want to get into that. It's more detail oriented. The music didn't really stand out to me. Usually the Men in Black music, it has a real cool vibe and it stands out, and they do the theme, but not stands out like distracting, because music shouldn't stand out that well. But I don't know, I was a little underwhelmed with the score here and the soundtrack. Granted, I still got the funky Shaft theme in my head. I just kind of need the Shaft music over everything right now. Everything needs a wah pedal right now.
Yeah. I was happy to see less twins. That's not a spoiler because they are in the trailer.
No, it's totally this is not a spoiler at all. It's totally in the trailer. You see kind of these twin character things that are chasing people, and she starts geeking out, like me style. I mean, not tearful, not Star Wars, but
no.
But she starts like, oh my, like I could tell. I literally had to be like, okay, all right, what? And then she whispered in my ear, oh, they're these French dance twins. I was like, makes sense why she's geeking out, right on.
Yeah, they won the first season of World of Dance. With one of them having a broken ankle.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
And they are interesting, and visually, I think they're very interesting too.
Yeah.
But I think that's also part of my problem with this movie.
But I thought they were slightly underutilized.
Well, that's what I was getting to. Is I think a lot of the characters, or a lot of the bad guys, the threat, the kind of the bad side of this movie, was very undercooked and a little bit confusing. They were.
Seems to be a theme tonight.
Yeah, that's a good point. We had kind of a similar issue with Shaft, where it's more about the hero characters and not enough of the villainous threat. And I think that's the case here too, because again, without getting too spoilery, it just kind of becomes generic CG. They weren't. What they were doing with them was really cool. As a matter of fact, X-Men Dark Phoenix, take notes, because I was like, that's kind of what. Yeah,
now the special effects for them were fantastic. And actually the baddie at the end, too.
Parts of it, yeah, parts of it. Which we can't specifically talk about here, but... so there was all of that. There's no post-credit, no mid-credit, nothing like that, which was kind of sad. Because I'll talk about it in spoilers, but I thought I had a toy spoiler for this movie, but apparently not. And then that ended up being disappointing. But
I wasn't spoiled.
Well, yeah, it's that the not spoiler I had set up false expectations. So again, expectations are a problem. But that didn't really ruin the movie or anything for me. It's just kind of a thing.
I think that what you say earlier tonight, I was happy but disappointed.
Yeah. Well, me, I'm weird. I'm a dichotomy like that. Yeah, sure, whatever. We'll go with it. But there's some cool chases in here, some cool effects, but I don't know. There's not really anything memorable in this. And even though Hemsworth and Valkyrie are great, I'm sorry, I promise I'll learn her name. There still was no.
Tessa Thompson.
I think that's right. There was no charisma of a Will Smith, though, which is weird because I've heard people say, I don't know about this one, it doesn't have Will Smith, but I'm like, yeah, but it's got Chris Hemsworth. Who, but if you really kind of, since I just watched the three of them, it doesn't actually stack up to that vintage Will Smith charisma for me. Even though he's still great. I'm not trying to knock him.
I think it's because, again, they were playing a little hard into some other aspects, which
I agree.
Theoretically have a reason, and again, can't talk about it here.
Yeah, I gotta do that in the spoilers.
Tahiti is a magical place. If you understand... No, stop thinking the other thing.
Okay. Still don't get it, but we'll get to that later.
Okay, I'll explain it to you.
Right.
I explain it to you.
All right. I'll learn. Yeah, I guess, and again, there's a couple, well, that's spoilery.
Okay, let's just put it this way.
Yeah.
Fun popcorn movie. If you like the other Men in Black movies, Men in Black movies, then you're probably going to have fun here. Just don't go in thinking it's going to be the most fantastic thing ever. It's just going to be a fun way to spend the night.
Yeah, and my amendment to that would be if you like the Men in Black sequels, because again, I think a lot of people liked the first one and they didn't like 2 or 3 at all.
I don't remember disliking them. I just don't remember them.
Yeah, and I think even that goes for something like you can probably remember good chunks of the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, that's just what I'm saying. The sequels were just not as strong, and I think this is equally as strong as those, and I like those, but you know me, I'm super easy on movies. Like, if you go to the Stardust app, I pretty much only rate between 3 and 5 stars out of 5. I've never rated anything. I think I rated one thing a 1 on there once. Oh, LaQuisha. Because you can't rate zeros. And I legitimately rated something a 2, and one of the people I'm friends with over there was like, oh yeah, I knew something was up when I saw you give it a 2. Like, you never give below a 3. And 3 is like, meh, for me. 4 is like, yeah, it's good, but you know, it's not like I need to go buy all the toys. 5 is like, okay, I really enjoyed it. To fantastic, greatest movie ever. You know, I'm very generalized in my 5-star, but so yeah, I kind of gave this one about a 4 or so. But yeah, I mean, again, like you said, you like the sequels, go see it. It's kind of like Shaft and Men in Black, same kind of deal. You know, if you like the others, you're gonna like this one. I think for me tonight, I had more fun with Shaft, but I think that's because
you were in a Shaft space.
Yeah, and and because some of those movies I had, like the original sequels I had just seen for the first time, it was all still kind of new and fresh. It was a newer, more exciting thing for me to get into. Whereas Men in Black, I've seen all those movies multiple times, and you know, it just wasn't as. But I was open-minded, but you know, yeah.
All right.
That's my no spoilers thought. Comment below, but stay out of the comments if you are afraid of spoilers, because people might spoil, and there are a few things to spoil in here. But otherwise, you can let us know if you're planning on going or whatnot. You can also check out the Stardust app, look up the Eric Butts, use the link in the description below. You can click that thumbs up button, give us the good old thumb of encouragement, as we do love to be encouraged. Now we're going to get out of here so we can talk spoilers, you can get home, and then we'll watch some more stuff. We'll see you all later.